Hi, welcome to a tutorial on how to use the calendar feature in PowerSchool Learning. Remember, PowerSchool Learning, it was formerly known as Haiku. It is no longer called Haiku officially. So I will be using PowerSchool Learning as the name of this particular website. I want to show you the different ways you can use a calendar for your students. It is the expectation at Lincoln School that all homework, tests, quizzes, important assignments, anything you want students to be accountable for should be added to your calendar. That will help students navigate and organize themselves. So what I like to do is give students a list of upcoming assignments right on my main page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add Content Block. And then I'm going to go right here to the tab that says Calendar. You could do a mini calendar, which shows up like this over here on the right-hand side. I don't really like that because then students have to click. I'm trying to give them the fewest clicks possible with the most information possible. So if you look at the second option, you will see that there is a content block which will import all of their upcoming activities in your particular class onto whichever page you would like to put that content block. I'm putting it on my welcome page, so I'm going to click Upcoming Activities. I'll keep it called Upcoming Activities, and I will hit Save. Now you will see that on my page right here, there is, and well, it's blank, but once there are activities, students will have a list of what's due for class. So let's go through, there are 5 different types of work that I want to show you that you can put on the calendar. We're going to go through each of those. So by the time we're done, this column right here for upcoming activities will have 5 different assignments on it. This is just a test class that I made called English 1. Doesn't actually mean anything. First thing I'm going to do is click on Calendar right here. And that's where I get the calendar for English 1. The first thing you'll see is that you can add an event. This is something that's sort of a one-time deal, although you can make it repeat. It doesn't allow you to do much as far as the options here. You cannot attach a file. You can create links, so that's something. Maybe you're going to say that there's a quiz, chapter 1, and maybe it takes place on Wednesday. We'll say that. Let's not give it a time. You can choose no time or all day. So that works out well if you have the same class 3 times in one day. You can just hit no time all day, and that will just put it on their calendar without the specific time. If I wanted, I could repeat it. I'm not going to repeat this particular quiz, but there is an option to repeat daily, every weekday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, weekly, or monthly. So that could be a good feature. If you'd like, you can toggle between sections. So right here, by default, it publishes the event to all sections. If I would like to only push it out to one section, I can uncheck the other one. Right, for now, I'm going to leave it for all sections. You could go and type information here. What I like to do is say quiz format, vocabulary matching, 10 questions, 1 point each, and then hit save. You'll notice that on the 21st, this quiz is here, that all of that information is there. Let's go back to our pages. Now you see in upcoming activities, their quiz is also on the list. I did not do anything extra, it just automatically pushes it there. The second type of content for your calendar is called an assignment. So you can go to Add Activity and then add an assignment. I like this better for anything where I need to give the student an assignment sheet, a reading packet, anything like that, because when you come down here, you can attach a file from OneDrive or you can upload a file. So I'll go through this you also can attach a rubric to an assignment, which is nice. So I'll go up here. Maybe I can say, I don't know, reading response due. Maybe I have a rubric here. Let's just go with, I don't know, email manners assignment. Obviously that's not a reading response, but I'm just picking a rubric that I can attach. I can give some guidelines. There's a little bit more flexibility as far as assignments and sections when you're using an assignment as opposed to an event. This time you can change the dates. So maybe my section A or it's my A-day students, I'll see them on the 23rd, and I'll see my B-day students on the 27th. I like to put 11:59 as the deadline. I want students to be able to submit their work online. I could uncheck that if I don't want them to submit it through Haiku, and if you don't want them to be confused, maybe it has to be printed, then you can uncheck that, but I would like to allow them to submit it through Haiku. Right here, yours probably says sync with PowerTeacher. This is a sample class, so it's not linked to a PowerTeacher gradebook, so I can't show you that synchronization from here, but you might be able to do that. And then I can upload a file. Maybe I'll go, there's a PDF that I would like them to read. I can attach it here. I can check to make sure, and I can save. Now my reading response for me shows up in 2 spots because there are 2 sections. Students will only see it for the section that they're actually in. Again, I'll check pages. Now in my list, you'll see that I have the reading response and the quiz. A third option for things that can go on the calendar are assessments. For here, it's not listed in here, so I'm going to actually jump to activities and I'm going to go to assessments. This is if you want your student to take a quiz or a test on PowerSchool Learning. What I can do is I can click Add Assessment. We'll call this an exam. I can say Chapter 1 test. Maybe it's 50 points. Again, yours will say connect to PowerTeacher. I can't do that. I can leave this blank or I can fill this out and then I hit next. I can now choose, maybe they have 30 minutes for the exam. They can only take it once, but if it's a practice, a formative assessment, it could be great to let them take it multiple times. I can randomize the questions and answers. It can be protected mode. Can hit save. Then I can add my questions. So my test is set up. I just pulled some old questions from a different class just for having a test made. I can go in now to publish it so that students will know when their test is happening. First, I click Manage Assessment, and then I click Publish. Here is where I can choose, okay, does every section get this? I can set start and end dates. So maybe I want that student to take it on February 28th at 10 a.m. and I gave them a half an hour, but they might not get into it right away, so I'll give them until 10:45 a.m. And then maybe March 1st, for my B-Day students, to 10:45, whatever. You could put a password on it if you'd like, and you can hit finish. So let's go back to my calendar. This test is now on the 28th and 29th. And again, if I go back to pages, it also shows up right here. It talks about when it opens and when it closes. Two other things I can show you very quickly are discussions and polls. If you go into activities, you will see that right beneath assessments you have discussions. Perhaps you have your students doing an online conversation to spark discussion. I can add a discussion. I'm working on chapter 1, so I can say discuss chapter 1. You might have a rubric for your discussion you can attach. And then you can give instructions. You can give them an entire class discussion, sections, groups, one-to-one if you want it to be like a blog that your student keeps. Hit next. You can decide how long this will be open. I can do it from today to March 21st. I love this. You can require students to post first before seeing each other's posts. Again, it will not let me sync to PowerSchool, but it will for you. And maybe I'm going to put this on the American Dream. Maybe I'll put it on the American Dream page. If I wanted, I can also attach instructions or maybe an image or something that students have to respond to. Then I hit save. So now I have my discussion here. When I go to pages, you'll notice that the discussion opens here. I think I left it open until March. Yep, so here you can see March 21st, the discussion closes. So they have that on their calendar that whole time. They're able to access it. But you'll notice here that all of my upcoming activities are listed in the content block that I added earlier automatically. They are also posted here on the calendar. Go through, there's even some in March. Everything that I just added shows up here. And I'm going to show you what it looks like for Mickey Mouse. Okay, so here I am. I'm Mickey Mouse. I can go into my calendar here. I notice that my English 1 class is this light green. Notice on my portal, my calendar, discuss chapter 1, quiz chapter 1, reading response due. If I click on any of these assignments, everything here that I just added as a teacher is going to show up for students. I can click on the rubric and see how I'm going to be graded. Obviously it doesn't match, it's a sample. I know my guidelines. I can open this file. You'll see that the file is downloading here. So any information that my student has given me is going to show up here. I even can hand in and upload my file straight from the calendar. So once information is there from the teachers, it makes my life as a student much easier. That's about it. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Let me know if you need any more help. Thanks.